Good afternoon everybody, and welcome to this week's video update. It's probably passed us all by really, but this is the last week of this half term, and it has really been a surreal half term and something that certainly I've never seen in my 26 years of teaching and probably will be unlikely to see. It's a time of reflection, and it does show something about us as humankind, and I think outside of the school in the wider community we've seen humankind at its best in many ways. I think people showing real caring, support and absolute kindness towards each other, and you know, I've mentioned before our display of the various people in and around the country who are doing a brilliant job, from Tom Moore, as we've mentioned before, doctors, nurses, parents themselves, teaching at home, the various workers that we have contributing to getting us through all of this. I suppose that care and that kindness is manifesting itself in our school community. It's absolutely inspirational to see some of the quality of work that students are producing and how diligently they are really focusing on that. And equally, it's amazing to see how our staff are supporting each other through these very difficult times. I was extremely heartened and uplifted this week when two members of our staff crafted together some gifts for each and every individual member of staff in the school, and that's over 150 gifts that they did in their own spare time. So it really shows that, you know, we're coming together as a community. I'm sure you've been following a lot of the government conversations, requirements, and the wider news feed around school opening. Obviously it doesn't manifest itself to the same level that it has to date with primary schools. However, we are responding to the government request for more face-to-face support in certain year groups, and we will be hopefully setting up meetings with year 10 students and parents in the coming half term so that we can see how they're getting on with that. In terms of getting that parental feedback, I do want to encourage you and thank you to continue providing that feedback. We've had over 600 parents contribute to our recent parent feedback, and we are going to be looking at that and seeing how we need to develop our practice. It's really clear that for the very, very vast majority of our students, distance learning is going to be their learning for the next half term, and most likely until September. So we're going to be taking that feedback on and then seeing how we can provide more interaction in our lessons that we do. As I say, please don't use that as the only vehicle for feedback. We are here for you. Please drop us an email, because we will try and get back to you and also act on that feedback that you provide. This week we've had a slightly different week on one of the days where we had some a National Skills Day, and Mr Richter's just going to feedback on that before I step back into the shop.
Hello, as Mr Samra said, our school community has very much stayed open throughout this lockdown, and yesterday was a perfect example. Over 700 of us came together to play a quiz at the end, and I'd like to thank you all for taking part in the day. 94% said in their feedback they'd like to do a similar day again to mix things up a bit, so we are looking to provide a similar experience next half term. Thank you very much.
So yeah, really, so you know, the last things I want to say is thank you, and for all your support. I want to say to the students to have a really, really safe half term, and please follow all the guidelines as you should. And we are excited about next half term, because I think one thing we are good at, I think, as teachers, is to be able to adapt, and whatever comes our way, we will adapt to that, and we will try to provide the very, very best education we can for each and every one of our students. And usually at this point I pass over to some singing, which has had mixed reviews from various quarters, and I think this week we've got some of our assistant heads who are going to be singing the song of the week. Have a great half term, be safe, and I look forward to speaking to you again next half term. Thank you.
Okay, so we've moved into the hall for social distancing and to wish Mrs Burt a very happy birthday with our sing-along today. Ready, team?
Absolutely.
Slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you'd never be, but all the things that you see slowly fade away. So I started a revolution from my bed. The seventh breath went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't ever gonna burn my heart out. So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late and we're walking on by. Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger.